Hey, I'm Keenan Fry, and this is the Acid Drip. So recently, I got a chance to go to Santa Cruz Music Festival 2018 and cover the event as an independent journalist. One of the artists that I got to interview was Smoke DZA, and this is his 2011 album Rolling Stone. Smoke was a really cool guy. I was in the backstage area of the artist lounge, walked into the room, first time backstage for the festival. And first time you go backstage, you're just trying to see like what the environment's like, because that's where you're gonna find the artists hanging out. So you gotta be there to talk to them. And you're just kind of like scoping it out. So I go back there and Smoke's already there hanging out, rolling a biggie. And I go up to him like, hey, I'm part of the journalism team. I don't really know who you are, but you know, would you like to do an interview? And he's like, yeah. What you're gonna hear is part of that interview. We'll come back and talk about it afterwards. All right, so Smoke, we're talking about you coming up from battle rap. Tell me about it.
All right, so I came up from battle rap because that's how most people learn how to control crowds and deal with being under pressure. So that was like my first introduction to rapping and like being comfortable with rapping in front of crowds, because it could be 5 people, could be 100 people, but a crowd is a crowd, and that energy is something else. And plus, being from Harlem is like, we ain't regular niggas, so you gotta have tough skin being from Harlem. I mean, like, you gotta know how to joke, you gotta know how to take a joke, and you gotta know how to maneuver in sticky situations. So I think my upbringing and being from Harlem and knowing how to move, I think that's what really leveled me out to doing what I do now.
Now, the thing about that, though, is when you're constantly the butt of a joke, you got to find a way to break out of that, because if you always are the joke, you don't grow. So what was that step like when you decided, I'm not going to be the joke anymore, I'm not going to talk about this, I'm going to fucking do it now?
Well, I mean, I don't think I ever was the joke, but if ever I was the joke, then it wouldn't be for that long, because I'll figure out a way to reverse the situation. But
that's
I mean,
the battle rap background.
That's being witty. That's being quick on your toes. Being able to have a response for a response type of thing.
Got to think 2 steps ahead. So we're at SCMF. Looks like the crowd's a little light right now, but it's just warming up. But you treat it like it's always 100,000 audience. So what are your bigger shows like? What do you look for in those bigger shows?
Bigger shows, I'm looking for energy. I'm not just looking for the people that know me. I'm looking for new fans. I'm looking for people that I could win over when I leave the joint. You know what I mean? Because my fans that's already there for me already know what time it is. But the fans that might not be aware of who I am, those are the fans I want to win over, because they got a story to tell after they see my performance. You know what I mean? Or after they hear something that they never heard before. And then, you know, most people on their phone, on Apple Music, figuring it out, or on Spotify, figuring it out as it goes. Or when they get home, they, you know, repeating the song, and I end up seeing the tweet like, yo, what's that song you played? So, I mean, I'm looking for new fans. Like, the fans I already got, we here, we moving. They know what it is, they're smart. The new people, like, you know, those is the people I'm trying to win over and make them discover my catalog like you.
Well, thanks. So when you reach out to your audience, what kind of message are you trying to give them? Because you're trying to win them over. So what is that message you're going to win them over with?
Positivity, good energy, lyricism. That's something else that I champion, because even coming up on some battle rapper shit, you had to be a lyricist. You had to have lyrics. You had to make sense and know and have a plot and a narrative and stick to it and be witty with it. So I'm trying to make people really understand my story, and you know, just leave something real positive and fresh for their eyes.
Well, hey, thanks for giving me a moment of your time.
No doubt.
Is there anything you want to tell me about your story, though, before you get ready to head up there?
I'm Smoke DZA from Harlem, New York. I'm your your favorite stoner's favorite stoner. And yeah, Kush God, bitch. Right.
Fuck yeah, man. Thanks. So what you just heard was the interview that I did with Smoke. It's only about 4 minutes long because I got there right before he was going on for his set. Now the thing about Smoke was he had a really good sense of humor. I'm basically a death metal guy. I'm not really a huge hip hop head. When I first met Smoke, I actually fucked up his name. Instead of calling him Smoke DZA, I called him Smoke DZA. And it was really funny because I went backstage to meet him, and he's like, I said to him, hey, who are you? And he's like, hey, look at the roster on the timesheet. I'm the third one on there. So I look at it, and I'm like, Smoke DZA. He's like, it's DZA! And he just shouts at me, DZA! He was pissed. I hadn't even started the interview and I already pissed this guy off. But he was actually really cool. I apologized and I said, DZA. Sorry, it's Smoke DZA. I got it. So we sit down to do the interview, and I'm talking to him while I'm setting up the gear, and my recorder skips and misses a couple of the minutes while we were talking, but I got it to work. That's why it's only 4 minutes and not the full 10 minutes I talked to him. And, you know, it was a really rough interview. First interview of the festival. Usually the first interview is really rough because you're warming up and getting used to the whole scene again. But Smoke rolled with the punches. He was really cool and he gave me a real shot. If you were listening to that interview, he was actually like really trying to talk to me and hash it out. If we had more time, I think he would have told me some more stuff and it would have like gone deeper than that. But what I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about Smoke because he made a huge impression upon me because that conversation we had, it was really down to earth and he was really honest with me. So for starters, I went out and bought Rolling Stone, which is his first album from 2011. Now technically he had a mixtape release before this, but this is really his first release. It's fully packaged, it's got a really cool piece of cover art, and of course he's making a play on the Rolling Stone logo. And I think that's just a really cool, clever take on it because that's a theme of Smoke DZA. He'll take something that we all are familiar with and he'll just give it a little bit of a twist. And he's not reinventing the wheel, but what he's doing is he's taking something that we all have seen and he's making it fresh. He's putting new life and new perspective onto something we've seen. And that's something that happens throughout his entire album. He takes little ideas and he puts a twist on them. It's his twist. And that's how you know it's Smoke DZA. And Smoke DZA is a really unique character. A lot of people gave this first album a really bad review, but I think it's a great album. First off, one of the reviews that I read, they said that the album really didn't display Smoke DZA's work because they felt like too many people were being featured and contributing to the album. I think that's a mistake. First off, this is his first real album, and he's got Kendrick Lamar on it. And he has A$AP Rocky on it. Now it's 2011 and it's before Kendrick Lamar broke on To Pimp a Butterfly and like just took over hip hop. But I mean, Kendrick Lamar was on an upswing for his career. Kendrick wouldn't have collaborated with Smoke if Smoke was an idiot. And Smoke's not an idiot. He's a master at what he does. He's a real lyricist. In his raps, specifically on Quiet, the 10th track on here, he says, you know, I am who I am in my raps in real life. And that's true. Like when I sat down with him, he was really down to earth and chill with me. He knew that I wasn't familiar at all with hip hop, at all with the scene, and yet he gave me a moment of his time and really like leveled with me. And that was really fucking cool. And I think that speaks volumes to his character. And I think that's why there's so many contributions from other really amazing artists on this record, is that Smoke DZA is a really easygoing guy. He's very personable and he's very honest and he's humble. He's really good at what he does and he's fucking humble. And that's why you've got people like Kendrick and A$AP Rocky on here who are really big in the industry, who frankly are bigger than Smoke DZA, but they're giving him a nod. And it's like, he's on his own way up. He's finding his own way to it and he's getting there. He's busting his ass. And it's really cool that he has those contributors. I think the fact that he has so many other people collaborating with him speaks volumes to his character and actually makes the album better. Another track on here that I really liked was Notorious. That was just a really badass track. It's just really fun to listen to. This is a great album. You should pick up a copy of it. What I'm going to be doing is actually giving this away. So if you want to check out Smoke DZA's music, you hit me up in the comments and I will send this to you, okay? You hit me up in the comments, you send me a message, and I'll forward this to you. You just got to like, share, and subscribe. And it's kind of like this new thing I'm doing. I got a collection of CDs and I'm going to be gradually giving them out. And it's just going to be to people who like, share, and subscribe my videos. So please share my content and put it out there, because I want to share the work of other artists. You know, I bought this album. It's basically a brand new album. I ripped myself a copy of it. So when I send it to you, you're going to get this and a personal gift from me, small little gift. I also ordered Smoke DZA's upcoming album, Not For Sale. That's what it's called, Not For Sale. You can find that on Amazon. I ordered a copy of that as well. And I'm going to do a follow-up video to all of this, and I'm going to kind of compare Rolling Stone to Not For Sale. And we're going to talk about how much he's grown as an artist over these 7 years, you know? And yeah, so Smoke DZA, really honest guy. Rolling Stone, lots of cool collaborations, really good album, worth checking out. And if you get a chance to see Smoke DZA live, go do it. He's awesome. He's fucking killer live. And yeah, you know, Kush God. Thanks for watching.